Welcome, people. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Life with Brandon. Woo wee! Oh my goodness, the week before Thanksgiving. Hey Carla, how you doing?
Hey, what's going on, Brandon?
I am good. It's hump day, y'all. It's hump day. It's hump day. It's Wednesday. We can get our eat on next week. Oh, I'm feeling good.
You're always somewhere eating.
I know, I love it. They should be paying me to come visit their restaurants and talk about their food. Do you know tomorrow is 7 days for Thanksgiving? And after that, we go into December. This year is over.
Well, I'm
Jesus.
excited about that. I'm ready for this year to be over. It's,
Okay, I understand. I
it's
understand.
exhausting.
Yes. So tell us, so the month of Thanksgiving, of course, we ask all our guests one thing that they're thankful for this year. And what are your plans for Thanksgiving? Since you know it's not going to be the traditional Thanksgiving that we've been accustomed to.
So this year, of course, we usually do it at my parents', but
Hmm.
I am going to cook Thanksgiving dinner at home for
Okay.
the family, and I'm going to cook everything from the dressing to the macaroni and cheese. I'm going to put it down.
Oh, you gonna put it down? You putting it all down? Okay. You went in
So,
Carter's kitchen this
oh
year.
yes, it's going down. So I'm
Hey,
thankful that the boys are gonna be here, and everybody's just healthy, and we're just gonna sit around and eat and have a just family time.
that's good. That's good. Also, for me, one more thing. Is that what you're thankful for? What are one of the things you're thankful for in 2020?
I'm thankful that all of my family are still living.
Hmm.
That's what I'm thankful for. A lot of people lost family members to COVID. So I'm thankful that all of my family members are healthy and they're still here.
And it's still here. Yes, and that is definitely a blessing within itself. Um, one of the things for I'm thankful for is I'm thankful that I have not been sick this year. And when I say I haven't been sick, meaning yes, I was in the hospital, but it was nothing to do with COVID because you know
Mhm.
my situation. You know, I am definitely susceptible. I'm a good cause if COVID could happen to me, it could be worse. So I'm grateful being able to work and still do what I do and being able to keep myself safe. When I was in the hospital, it definitely had anything to do with COVID. So I'm thankful for that. And for Thanksgiving this year, this is my first time actually living back in Americas. So this is gonna be in my house. Whereas usually I was in my house anyway. They just come to Atlanta. This time I'm in Americas. So it's gonna be a little different. So I haven't did Thanksgiving in Americas in about 18, 17 years. So it's gonna be a little different. So I'm looking forward. It's been a while, but the family's great. Everybody's doing good. So I'm looking forward to Thanksgiving. You know, my immediate family's not really big, so it's just me, my brother, his kids. It's just us. You know, we be around and anybody else who's hungry. You know, we always feed people when they hungry. You know, you got nowhere to go. Hey, come get a plate. Cause my mama still don't know how to cook small. I'm
Well,
like,
that's
girl,
good.
what you gonna do with all this food?
Eat it.
Okay, she just be like, pass that place, but they love it, honey. They love it. All right, before we get into the show, I got some old business to take care of. Oh my goodness, somebody that is near and dear to my heart, y'all. I forgot to tell her happy birthday on the show last week. Ali, happy birthday, sweetie. Oh my goodness, I am so sorry. Last week I did the show, it's her birthday, and I completely forgot about it. So happy birthday, sweetie. And listen, I guess while I'm making cakes, because I've been I've been voluntold, not volunteer. I've been voluntold I got to make a cake for Thanksgiving. So while I'm making a cake, I have to slide you one on in there and tell your husband ain't no diets on the week of Thanksgiving. Diets go out the window. We'll resume them in December. So happy birthday, sweet. Continue to enjoy your birthday. So listen, today's show is about mental illness, you all. Mental illness. I know some people think that word is deplorable, it's horrible. But listen, it is something that we have to have a conversation about. Many people have mental illness and don't even know it, don't even realize it. Last night I was watching Trevor Noah, and there was a particular episode he had Oprah on, and he allowed the guests to ask a question. And one of the questions that they asked was, "How do you tell somebody they have mental health issues when they don't want to believe it?" And she said, "People like I, meaning herself and Trevor, we're going to make that word not bad anymore. We're going to be like, hey, I got mental health issues. Oh, well, we can see about it. We can heal it. We can grow. There's been such a negative stigma that comes with illness. And it's not negative. It's just knowing what a cause is and knowing how to fix it and repair it. So I thought that was something that was powerful. Because she was saying even in her school in Africa, they actually Googled what depression was, and she had all the symptoms. And she said, I can't be depressed. I'm African. I can't be depressed. And she's like, no, you are depressed. That's the problem. We think we can't be depressed. So just normalizing the word to take off the stigma. And I thought that was a powerful thing because that's why a lot of us don't like to go and get help because we think it's something absolutely bizarre. So no, people, it's okay to talk to somebody, save lives. Oh my goodness, it saved lives. It has saved my life, honey. I have done. I'm speaking from experience. I think I need to go back again. Another session is coming up. I need to go back again because so much is going on with COVID, everyday life. I mean, we all need an outlet and get out our own head sometimes because it get dangerous in there. We start thinking too far and we go way too left, and sometimes we can't will ourselves back. So that's some of the things that we're going to talk about today with Carla. Oh my goodness, Carla, first of all, thank you for willing to come on here and be transparent. Oh my goodness, thank you for your willingness to be transparent because we need more people that is willing to share their story because I guarantee when you all hear her story, you're gonna be moved, you're gonna be touched, and you're gonna know somebody, if it don't apply to you, on how you can overcome whatever obstacle that you have, whatever that you may be going through, you can overcome that. So, Carla, before I get into the meat of things again, tell me this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, I should be telling the people. So I say, telling you, tell me this. Y'all, me and Carla used to work together. Me and Carla, we worked together back in the day. I'm talking years ago. This ain't no new friendship. Me and Carla, this sister and brother right here. We got a yearly traditional Christmas breakfast we go to. We met back in years. I mean, years ago. And Carla has always been who she is, same person who she is today. And just people that you work with close with, you sometimes don't know what they go through. I've always pictured Carla as a strong woman who can handle whatever. She does it with ease, with grace. And you never know what people be going through. So I just want to just throw that out to the people. I don't care how strong they look, how tough they look. We all go through things, and if we don't deal with it, it will take control of us in one way or another. So, Carla, tell us something. Tell us something about yourself. Tell people a little bit something about yourself so they get an idea of who you are and all that stuff before we go into the story tonight.
So, well, I don't know how to follow all that you just said. But I'm Carla. I'm a Georgia peach, born and raised from Decatur, where it is greater. I don't care
All
what the
right.
other people say. And transplants, you're not from Decatur, where it's greater. You're transplants. You have to be born and raised there. Um, but I am a Georgia peach. I I am currently um, a model and an actress in Atlanta
Yes.
area. And I am an aspiring designer. So I have a line that is being released in December. Um,
Mhm.
and I am also a writer. So I've written for quite a few publications. And um, let's see what else. I don't know what else, Brandon.
Hey, that's enough
What else?
to get them
I
an
know,
idea.
right? That's enough
I
to
mean,
give them an idea.
yeah, just enough to give them an idea. Just want to give them an idea who you are, what you do. Oh my goodness. So let me go into a little some statistics for you all before we start the show off, just to give an idea of some things to let you know how serious things are. You know, a lot of people hear the word PTSD, post traumatic stress disorder. A lot of people think, what is that? Who do it really affect? Is it a real thing? Yes, it's a real thing. I want to give you all some little facts just so you have an idea. Do you know that 70% of adults experience at least one traumatic event in their life? 20% of people who experience a traumatic event will develop PTSD. About 8 million people have PTSD in a given year. 8 million people in a given year. 1 in 13 people will develop PTSD at some point in their life. So y'all, this is real. This is real. Different events can happen in your life that could set off PTSD. Just because you feel like you don't have it now, don't mean you may not develop it in the future. So Carla, tell us, what is mental health and what does it mean to you? Wow.
So, so mental health, or as it relates to me, I would
Hmm.
say I have a mental illness. And what I
Okay.
mean by mental illness, because I am diagnosed with PTSD. So therefore my mental health is I have to maintain a level of healthiness with it. And that is making sure that I'm eating healthy. I'm not, I notice that certain things like caffeine and sugar triggers, some certain chemicals in my brain that affects the PTSD. So there are things that affect me chemically, but
Hmm.
I am diagnosed with PTSD. And I was diagnosed with PTSD as a result of one, being a rape victim in college. I experienced trauma in college, being raped, as well as a career as a firefighter and a paramedic. So
Hmm.
over years and years of operating in that profession, those things, experiencing death, over and over and over and over. I would work at the firehouse. I would get off. I would work in the emergency room. I also worked on life flights, which is the helicopters. So I would get off one shift, go to another, and I was constantly seeing death. I was constantly seeing trauma in other people's lives. So after years of seeing that and just um, suppressing it in my mind, it
Hmm.
came to the forefront. And I was one of the first female firefighters to become, out of seven. It was seven of us hired in South Fulton County. Um, and believe it was in 2019, there was a study done,
Hmm.
and out of 75, I think it was 75% of the females that were done in this study, 30% of them were diagnosed with PTSD, and
Hmm.
30% of them were prone to suicide. So that was a very high rate. That was some high numbers for the female firefighters. And it said that it was a result of our levels of stress. The fact that we're doing the same job that the men are doing, but we also have to come home and we have to be mothers and we have to be wives. And some of us are working two jobs where the man is not working but that one. So it was several contributing factors, but the fact that I felt like it was that hormonally,
Hmm.
we're just built different. and
Definitely.
and although we have, you know, equal rights and all that fun fuzzy wuzzy stuff, some things women are just really not built for, but we do it. And I'm
But you
just
do.
being real with you. um and I just although we get out there and we do it and we do it very well, I just think
Hmm.
some stuff we just we're a little more too passionate. We're too passionate for it and
Right.
compassionate, and we're too emotional. And you know, for instance, I would work car accidents, and if it was a kid, the guys would be like, "Oh, just you know, they're gone." But for some reason, I keep working them because I had a kid at home.
Oh.
So it was like, no, it's no way. They got to come back. You know, so I would look at it a little bit different than my colleague. And you know that I worked on my dad.
Right.
So I worked on my brother. I pulled up to the car accident. It was my oldest brother. So after working a car accident with your family members or working on your parent, now when the bell goes off, that triggers another level of PTSD, because when will it be my kid? When will it be my husband? You know, so now you're at work worried about when is it going to be another family member. So it just, the whole PTSD is just a war zone in itself in your head, and there's no way around it. So I know I probably went all over the place just then, but I'm sorry.
No, no,
I'll
no,
bring it
no,
back. So the
no.
question was, what is mental what is mental health to me? So mental health to me is a mental illness, which is PTSD. And PTSD is a result of traumatic experiences. And
Experiences.
my traumatic experience is a result of, you know, trauma,
Trauma.
you know,
Hmm.
experience repetitive trauma. And a lot of people, as you were stating before, um, a lot of people are experiencing, they or have experienced trauma. And it's not just the military. You know, as I shared before, you have kids that are now teenagers or young adults, but they had parents that were verbally abusive, and
Right.
or physically abusive,
Abuse.
or they had, you know, they were raped, incest, you know, a lot of things caused them to experience something traumatic, and they don't even know they're experiencing PTSD. They think it's just depression, or you know, and they're covering it up with these vapes, the cigarettes, the alcohol, you know, stuff like
Hmm.
that. But
Yeah.
PTSD is, a lot of people are walking around with it and don't know it.
And don't know it. And I want to say this to my older audience members and guests. You know, my generation. I'm my '80s baby. We just really starting to look at counseling as a serious and much needed thing in therapy. So to my generation that's before me, it's okay. It's never too late to reach out to get help. You don't have to be that way just because you feel like, oh, I've dealt with it for 50 years. No, you still can get help. You still can reach out and talk to somebody. As long as you're willing to learn and to open up, then there's always help for you. It's not help for those who don't want to try or don't want to open up. It's always help. And I know coming from the stigma of my older generation again, this is something that was like a taboo thing. They talk about, we don't get it. But we are living proof as different jobs, stress level, being a parent, and being a human being and dealing with events that happen in life can cause PTSD. So you all just go and get help wherever you can, wherever. Check with your local community resources and just see what is available. Because mental health is important. You will be amazed when you start to get some balance, just how free you feel, how you can think, how you can move, and then you start to love yourself a little bit more. So I just want to add that in to you. Thank you for sharing that, Carla. Which goes into my second question, which you already answered. What is PTSD and how it relates to you? And you shared by going to the accidents, pulling up, and get the bell goes off, pulling up. You think it's a normal person, like my father or my, family member, whoever, having to deal with that in that moment and still do your job. And then, if they don't make it, you really take this one personally because, as you stated earlier, sometimes we can feel like it's our fault. And I've noticed just watching doctor shows, when a patient don't make it, they feel like they fault because I could have did this or I could have did that. So I can imagine the amount of pressure that is upon you reacting in a matter of split seconds to save this person's life from a more dangerous situation. You're entering into a dangerous situation to save that person and keep them alive and keep yourself alive and bring them out of that dangerous situation. So I can completely understand it and why that would mess with your mind. And to piggyback off of women, I think people in general, especially with women, you're nurturers, you're givers. So quite naturally, you all take things differently than men does. This it could be as simple as your hair. You know, say with me when I used to have my hair. When I got hot, I put it in a ponytail. A woman gonna put it in a ponytail, put a little spin on it. They gonna add a little this to it. I'm like, oh, okay. It's just the touches and love and nurturing that you all give. It's in your genes. You can't help it. Can't help
Good
it.
example, Brandon. Good example. You a mess.
So it's just like it's in the genes. So some people think, well, I don't experience PTSD. I've been through a lot. What was your advice, or what would you say as to why don't some people experience PTSD and not others? Just off of your experiences.
I would say, I would say the chemical imbalance. We
Okay.
would, I would say that,
Okay.
and I wouldn't say that they don't experience PTSD. Maybe they don't experience it as long
It's long.
or as deep, because some of the symptoms of PTSD are like, loss of appetite, sleepless nights, anxiety, panicking, irritability. So they could have some of the symptoms, and then maybe they just kind of go for a run, go work out at the gym, have a glass of wine, and maybe that mellows them out. Whereas to somebody else that's not a wine drinker, or they don't work out at the gym, or maybe they decide they eat sweets, and maybe that causes them to go into a deeper depression because of the insulin. You know what I'm saying? That triggers them to go deeper. So it could be a chemical imbalance that causes one to linger into it more, a little bit longer than
Gotcha.
others. But I do feel like, you know, if something traumatic happens, so for instance, like Vic losing his mom, he went into a deep depression for about maybe a couple of months, and then he snapped out of it, and that was pretty deep,
Deep.
but I didn't snap out of something that quick. I wouldn't snap out of it that quick.
That quick.
So, but I know I have a chemical imbalance.
Balance. And
Right.
that's true. Chemical imbalance, they all determine, they all what make us meet and make us balance us out.
Mhm.
All right. So I want to go back a little bit more and just talk about back in your college days. You said when the rape occurred, back when you was in college.
Mhm.
At that time, I know it was definitely a different time than now. But were people there available to talk, or it still kind of was a just you had to still sweep up under the rug during your time at college when the rape happened?
For back then, and that was, the late 80s.
Mm-hmm.
So it would have been my fault. It would have been,
Gotcha.
you had no business drinking. That was when they were first starting to slip things into drinks. We weren't told to cover your drink up. We didn't have those precautions in place back then. And we didn't
Mm.
know we needed to have precautions in place. We didn't know all of that. But, and so it would have been our fault. And even going to
Gosh.
the emergency room was humiliating. You know, it was just, you just didn't even want to waste your time writing the police report or any of that, because it was your fault. The questioning and everything was like, why were you there? Why did you drink? Why were you drinking that much? And they never took into consideration that you were telling the truth. So it was a very humiliating experience. And so at that point, you just be like, forget it. Just forget it. So you never even
Mm.
do it.
You never even pursue it because
Right.
nobody's on your side. Nobody believes you. You're automatically made. It's your fault. No, you can't
Right.
go out and have a good time like a normal citizen would without. I got you.
Right.
And that brings me to my next question. Um, God have always had beautiful homes for all, and um, we was I put it on a hiatus. We had stopped working, doing our own things. Project was over, and I was reaching out to her, and I didn't know what was going on. Just I haven't talked to her in a while. And even now, if we go too long without each other, somebody drop a note or something, hey, you okay? Just checking on you or something. So I haven't heard anything. So she invited me into her home and she gave me a tour. And do you mind talking about you had a painting? It was angels and it was a painting. And you said this is where you was broken and this is where God was putting you back together. Can you tell us about what was going on during your time in life when you made that painting?
Yeah. So that particular time, I was when right after I had attempted suicide. And
Mm,
it was a time in my life where the PTSD, all those years, it had where I had suppressed all of the traumatic experiences. I somehow managed to suppress all of them, all of those years of
mm,
traumatic experiences. And it was when my husband's mother was killed, and I could not find a way to protect him or to fix it. I couldn't fix it. And I lost complete control of my home, of everything that was going on around me, and I just couldn't do it anymore. And I just decided enough was enough. And that at that night I decided that I was going to just take my life. And um I attempted suicide. Of course, it was
mm.
successful. And my mother and my husband took me to the hospital, of course. And that experience was humiliating, because in the emergency room was a couple of my colleagues that had, but they respected me. They respected my privacy. And, they knew, because they too were firefighters. And so they just kind of met me there in a glance, so
Right.
to
Mm,
speak. And then one of the medics that took me to another hospital, she
mm,
also could relate to me as she was talking to me in the back of the ambulance. But when I got to the psychiatric hospital, um, that was a different experience in itself. But even I will say this, when I arrived at the psychiatric hospital,
mm-hmm.
I felt like I finally get to be human, if that makes
Mm.
sense, Brandon.
Oh wow.
Because, like you said, I had to be strong for him. I've had to be strong for my sons. I had to be strong for mama, because my mother had cancer all those years. I had to be strong for her dad when he had cancer. Like, I've always been the savior.
Thank
Always.
you.
So when I finally went to the hospital, I was like, finally, finally. Like, I don't have to be mother, daughter, like nobody. I'm finally away from all of it. And like I said, I went to counseling the next day, the therapy session. And then
Mm.
that woman says to me, "Woman of God, you don't belong in here." And I'm looking at her like, damn, let me just be
Be
here right
right,
now. You know, guys.
right,
So enough is enough, like really. But
right.
it let me know, God let me, he let me get better. But he also said, okay, brush your knees off and get back in the game. Cause it didn't,
Right. It
but
works. Like, no, try again. Like, no, we got something
right,
better for you.
right. So that painting was my experience with that, where he basically allowed me to be broken, but he
Mm.
put me back together. Because and it's like putting something together and pushing it right along so it can go on again.
We can go on
Yep.
again.
Right. So, and here I am.
And well, we're glad it was a failed attempt because I'm so honored to sit right here with you today. And even before I knew about the story, just I'm thinking about the times that I've had with you. Now, when you said it, I know when this happened, and I'm thinking about the times after and up to now before I fully know what had happened. And my God, my God, my God, my God, he wasn't through with you. But to the audience and to the people that's watching, this is why we have to reach out and get help. Because when a problem goes have gone so long and it wasn't fixed, it wasn't taken care of, or not even diagnosed. Sometimes we just don't even know. Um, Things like this happen. It get built up. We haven't dealt with that anger. We haven't dealt with the emotion of dealing with the sick parent. Sick parent alone can wear you out because you're still having to work. You're not used to your parents being in this form. You have to accept that my parents is alien. They may not be able to come back from this. There's a lot of things you have to deal with, and there's a lot on the mindset and deal with life, everyday life, and still be a wife, still be a mother, still be a human being. That's a lot. So, Carla, thank you for being transparent and just telling us that because we definitely appreciate that and just conveying how your attempt was failed and even when you was at that place of like, oh, I can breathe because I really think some people need to hear that like I can breathe like oh fine I'm at a point okay I can breathe and even though other people may say you don't belong here they just didn't understand
Right.
like I can breathe like I got a place of exhale. I can talk, I can breathe, I can release. And that is so important. And you all, and this for my church people. Church people, we all say prayer about it, but guess what? We all need a relief. We all need a relief. Carla's a woman of God and she still needed a relief. We all need a relief, and there's nothing wrong with that. This is where true healings begin. In moments like these, this is where healing begins. So now, if you don't mind, and I'm gonna get off the subject for a second, I'm gonna leave after I ask this question, I'm gonna leave that subject alone. When did someone find you in the failed attempt or how did what happened? Who got you to the hospital and things of that nature?
I took I called my husband.
You call your husband.
Yep. When I came to, I was like, oh wow, that didn't work. And I called and they came and got me.
Wow. Wow. And
Him
do
and
you
my
mind
friend.
sharing what the
Hmm.
method is? Do you mind sharing what the method was?
It's I'd rather not.
Okay, no
It's
problem.
just too much.
This too much. I respect that. No problem. I got some statistics that I went and did some research on, and just to let people know about suicide, it is, it's rough. The numbers are like, wow, you would not think how suicide affects this many people within the world, not the United States, the world. Suicide data from the World Health Organization said close to 800,000 people die due to suicide every year, which is one person every 40 seconds. Suicide is a global phenomenon and occurs throughout the lifespan. Effective and evidence-based interventions can be implemented at population, subpopulation, and individual levels to prevent suicide and suicide attempts. There are indications that for each adult who die by suicide, there are many more. There may be more than 20 other attempting suicide. So I went and did a little research and I found data from the CDC, and it was released March of this year. Back in 2018, they said that, do you know that 24,432 people committed suicide with a firearm? 13,840 people committed suicide by suffocation. 6,237 by poisoning. And then they had a category of other, 3,835 people. When you add those numbers up, that is a total of 48,344 deaths by suicide in 2018. This comes from the CDC. So when we hear those numbers, a conversation definitely needs to have. We need to talk about and we need to release certain things and go and get help where it needs to be, because when we're in our head too much, sometimes things just don't go as planned. But just hearing that voice of somebody else, just having another idea can change your whole perspective on life. So, Carla,
Hmm.
during the events of dealing with PTSD, did you ever blame yourself, or have you ever feel guilty about the events that occurred in your life?
I did. I did. But I did learn to forgive myself.
Mm,
Absolutely. You have to forgive yourself. You have
mm,
to forgive
powerful.
yourself. You have to remember your worth. And when you mention church folks, let me say this. Church folks is, don't be caught up in being religious, because
Mm,
you know religious people be in bondage and thinking that they can't go to a therapist, or thinking that you can't be saved and go talk to a therapist and all of that, but you can be saved and go seek help. That's your
yes.
wisdom. That's it's okay to go get help. Don't sit around
Yes.
and not get help. you know because some stuff, it really is a chemical imbalance, and it's just like going to a medical doctor to get medical help. So
Help.
don't sit around and wait until you really really sick and it's too late, because you know I'm still saved.
Yes. You are
But I
saved and
do
still.
know some Christians or religious people are afraid to go get help because they thinking that it's against God.
Right. And it's definitely not. It's getting help. It's getting help. And thank you for enlightening that, because that is true. That is something that has hit a lot of religions, especially in our community. And I'm sure in other communities as well, but we know for a fact in our community, a lot of people think that no, go and get help, please. Please. Um, what would your what would you tell your inner self? The person that went through the trauma and the traumatic experience, what would you tell your inner self now? Like, what are the things that you tell yourself? Like, you know what? We got this. Like, some days I have to wake up and like I feel that spirit. Like depression like to come on me. So some days I wake up and I find myself getting mad for no reason. Like, oh, and I have to go look in the mirror and be like, Brandy, you're beautiful. Brandy, you're gonna have an awesome day. You know what? Today we're gonna go and we're gonna close some deals. We're gonna make this happen. We're gonna go and be successful. I don't care what somebody else said about you. It ain't about you, it's about me. So what are some of the things that you have to tell yourself to keep you on track if you don't mind sharing with us, your inner self, when you have your moments?
I would say it came from this the Walls group. You know,
Okay.
those kids,
Yes.
they had this song out. I think it's called My Life. And
Hmm.
there's a verse in it that says, He made me great. Let me be great. And
Mm.
some days I find myself singing that song, and where I just get to thinking about just, where the devil get in your head and tell you you're not worthy. You're not going to make it. You can't do this. You can't do that, and try to remind you of stuff. And
Hmm.
I say to him, he made me great, so let me be great.
Great.
So that's what I have to tell my inner self. He made me great, meaning God. So let me be
Yes.
great. Today, I'm going to be great. I'm going to put forth
Mm.
every effort to be great.
Mm. I like that. He made me great. Let me be great. I'm gonna put forth every effort to be great. Now that's something to chat about. Let me be great. He made me be great. I'm going to put forth every effort to be great.
Great.
I'm gonna have to use that, Miss Carla.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to add that to it. Like that felt powerful. Like when I said that, I felt a sense of power.
Yep.
I was made to be great.
He
Let
made
me
you
be
great.
great.
So
He
let
made
you
me
be great.
great. Let me be great.
Right? So when people be talking, like, be shut up. Let me be great
Let me be great.
already.
Yes. He made me to be great. Let me be great. Oh my goodness. Like,
Right?
let
Shut
me be
up.
great. Shut up. Let me be great. Listen, I tell people all the time, life with Brand, this is why we have conversations. Because
Right.
I share my experience, you share yours. We balance off each other. This is what life with Brandon is. And I
Yep.
got a new affirmation to say and just talk and give that word of encouragement to myself. Because we all go through it. We all go through it. And just having that moment. And especially being here in 2020 with COVID, elections. Oh my goodness. I have never seen an election drawn out so long. Oh my Jesus. I have a friend that is in another country. I was talking to him online the other day and I said, hey, what's going on in the world over there? He said, the United States elections. I said, you know what? That is a shame.
Oh my goodness, a circus.
It's a
It's a
circus.
circus.
That is a shame. I'm like, what's going on in the world over there? He's talking about the United States elections. Oh my God.
Embarrassing.
It is. It really is like, oh my goodness, can't go nowhere without people knowing the United States election. So yes, this dealing with everyday life and stress. And my hot topic question is, Carla,
Mm-hmm.
what is something you want people to walk away from after hearing your story, your testimony, your journey? What you want them to walk away with?
Um, I would have to say it's okay to recognize when something's not right within your
Mm-hmm.
body, your mind, and it's okay to get help. It's okay.
Mm.
It's nothing wrong. When we were raised with the uncle in the back room, that it was
Mm.
embarrassing. You couldn't talk to him. You couldn't talk about it. You better not dare ask grandmama about the uncle in the back room because he had a mental illness. But,
Mm-hmm.
you know, we don't want to be the uncle in the back room. So when you know something's not right with you,
Mm-hmm.
go go get some help. Go see what the problem is. They got all kind of medication. They got all kind of natural stuff, and some things it could just be as simple as changing your diet. I just have to know I can't have caffeine. I can't have a lot of sugar. No, I don't take medication, because the medication made me sad. So I don't want to be walk around
My
depressed, but
stress.
but I do know what triggers my behavior, you know, so I avoid it. But but at least you can go get help, because maybe that medication might help you function. It might help you control the irritability. It might help you get sleep, and therefore you can concentrate and be able to be productive at work. So don't just walk around and lose your job because something's going on in your body.
Body.
You just It's okay to accept that something's wrong and go get help.
And
Just
go
go
get
get
help.
help.
Mm. That's a good point to walk away. Go and get help. And I'm gonna throw in a personal story of mine. As you all know, and you probably can tell, last week I was in the hospital. I did the show live from the hospital. So, of course, doing my live yesterday, we went live from the hospital in the suite at Piedmont, Atlanta. Yes. So as you probably tell, my breathing, I didn't realize my breathing was that heavy until I go back and hear some of my lives. I'm like, oh jeez, I'm breathing heavy. I just thought simply because I was fat, y'all. I'm taking prednisone and I done gained weight. I didn't know no better. I just simply thought because everybody who know me know I love to eat, and I was taking prednisone. Those two things can gain weight. So I had a television appointment with my cardiologist. And the first thing he asked me said, Dr. Montgomery said, how long you been breathing like that? I said, oh yeah. Like it's just that. Oh yeah, I need to lose some weight. I know. Don't get on me. We're gonna work on that. We're gonna work on that. He was like, no. He said, how you eating? I said, not really lately. I eat like 1 meal a day. I know that's not good, but I don't have an appetite. I'm just thinking 'cause I've just been working. I just carry out this big jug of water. I make sure my kidney got this water. I'm like, I'm just working, and it's not out of the norm when I get caught up working to eat one time a day. I know that's bad, y'all. I'm just being honest. And he said, if you don't go to the ER right now, what are you talking about? He was like, you sound like you trying to go in a condition of heart failure. I was like, oh, no, congestive heart failure, what he said. I'm like, huh, okay. So Piedmont Atlanta is always my choice of hospital. That's to get my transplant. They know everything on my records. I show up and come to find out I had fluid on my heart, y'all. I had fluid. I lost 7 pounds just of fluid. I was like, wow, I had no idea. So of course, you got to stay maintain the salt, because salt retains fluid. And watch my diet. And I am going to work out, so y'all gonna see those changes come soon. But I say that because I didn't know I was sick. I didn't know nothing was wrong. I just thought I was fat. And here I am going into congestive heart failure. Did not know. So I say that go get help. If you feel something wrong, like she said, if you feel something wrong, you feel something off, go get help. Go and see about yourself. Anything that feel out, even if it's a false alarm, it's better to know for sure and it be nothing than to go and it be something, and for it to be something and you don't go and it turns worse. And that's what we got to do with mental health, our health for physical body, see a clinician. You got to have that conversation. We don't like to go to the doctor's either, but that's another show. But we got to take care of our mind, our body, our health, our well-being. And I'm gonna not only talk about it, but I'm gonna do it. And so today's episode is one of the episodes that we can take care of the mental, because you gotta have that mental. The mental is important. That's what makes you grow. That's what makes you function. When your mental's not right, everything else goes down. And as grandma used to say, which I didn't understand till I got older, thank the Lord for your health and strength. Without your health and strength, you cannot do nothing. And your mental is just important, because without your mental, you can't do nothing either. I've seen so many great minds get dementia. You be like, wow. I remember this teacher was the smartest teacher on the hall and she has dementia and barely knows her name. So, we got to check up. We got to stay on ourselves. We got to keep ourselves up to date. Anyway, Carla, thank you for sharing, honey. I
Thank
appreciate you
you.
for telling that story, telling your story. And for the people tonight, guess what, y'all? We're gonna do Life with Brandon after dark. This is gonna be the first one. We're gonna go live on Facebook Live after the show, and we're gonna talk with I Am Bars. Black Rose is the name of the event that'll be going on this Saturday. It's a rap battle. Yes, I'm gonna do a rap battle, but it's not your average. I should say average. I'm sorry. It's not your traditional, say down here dirty rap battle. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna go hard now. Oh, it's gonna go hard. Believe that. It's gonna go hard, but it's gonna be something different. So join us tonight on the live after 11 as well. Carla, again, it's been an honor. It's been a pleasure. Tell us now, you're the clean lady, girl. Give these people some advice on how to stay safe from COVID, honey, because you're the clean lady over there, honey. Y'all, she can tell you what to do, 'cause baby.
Clorox, 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 and more Clorox.
Yes,
That's all I can say. The- Clorox it down. I'm
Clorox it
serious.
down. Yes, Clorox it down, and then how they work. The Clorox it work. Clorox hand wipe sanitizer. I've been keeping on, and even before COVID, just when I had my transfer loan, because my immune system is so different. I've always been extra Clorox cleaning and spraying around the house before COVID, just because. So, yeah, you
Yep.
might walk like, ooh, get a little contact high.
Yep. I love it. Let me get high on Clorox.
I'm gonna Carla. Where can people find your Where can people find you? First of all, tell us where we can find
So you can find me on Instagram on Carla Jordan 911, on Facebook Carla M Jordan. I have a vegan Moscata, and that is on Bizarre Spirits on Instagram, as
you.
well as
Yeah.
Facebook. Bizarre Spirits also on Facebook.
Yes,
So
bizarre spirits, y'all.
so those are all of my pages that I could be found. And emails, if anybody wants to send me a personal message, my email is Carla Jordan 911 at yahoo.com. And that's with a C. Carla with a C.
Yes, Carla Jordan 911 at yahoo.com. Listen, oh yeah, her Moscato, y'all, it's good. It's good. It's a vegan based. So those that are trying to watch that waistline, drink up. It's vegan based. And
All right.
it's 40% proof. So just remember that. So if you get up a little stagnant.
It's a smooth Moscato. It's an
It is.
eccentric alcohol, so it's not 40% proof. It's a 40% eccentric
Oh,
alcohol. Like it's a vegan, so it's not like 40% proof,
okay.
40% eccentric.
Eccentric.
So
You said
yeah,
eccentric.
so it doesn't hit you like a vodka would.
Okay. Y'all heard it from the designer and creator now. Yes. And
it's
Carl, I forgot some
it's
upcoming events.
sophisticated,
Yes,
sophisticated.
sophisticated. Yes. Sophisticated, 40% eccentric.
Yes.
And don't you got an upcoming event coming up somewhere soon?
I released, like I said, I released the line, but that's going to be in Nashville.
That's in
Um,
Nashville.
yes,
All right, Nashville. Y'all
yes,
remember Carla Jordan when she get up there? Nashville people.
yes.
Nashville.
But the line will be in Mademoiselle, as well
Okay.
as Poise magazine. I think the January issue. So we're
Okay.
looking forward in there.
You said Mademoiselle magazine
Mm-hmm. And
and the
Poise.
Poise. Okay,
Yes.
the January edition.
Yes. And the name is John Luke. JONLUC. John Luke.
John Luke. John Luke. Okay, John Luke. Okay. Miss Carla, y'all, let me tell y'all, I love this woman. She is wonderful. She is creative. She have saved the day with me plenty of times. She have made my experience when I was in the entertainment industry great. So I love her. That is my big sister. You all remember to watch us. We go live every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Now, next Wednesday, y'all, I won't be here. I'll be making that cake. I'll be making We'll be here next Wednesday. It is Thanksgiving. I hope you all enjoy your Thanksgiving. Listen, this year has been a non-traditional year for all of us. So I want people to remember it's okay to break tradition. A lot of times that's why we in trouble because of tradition. It's
Yeah.
okay to try something new, do something different, live a little. And listen, for my people that don't know how to have this hard conversation, hey, sit down. Just say, listen, can I talk to you? Then, but you got to remember, it only works when both parties want to have the conversation. It can't be one sided. So, whether you got personal issues going on with immediate family, distance family, whatever, sit down and have a conversation. They very well could be having a mental illness and don't even know it, and that's why they respond the way they respond.
Yep.
This is why we have these conversations because we want to be able to grow and learn from it. So 2020 should have taught everybody anything. We have all had to learn how to come together and coexist in some shape, form, or fashion. You have businesses that are actually joining in businesses together so that they can service the need because of, you know, COVID times are different and money is not the same. So businesses have started joining together. And that's what we got to do. We got to join together as a family, a group of people, or just people to make things work. And when we get together as a team, look what you can produce. And y'all didn't know some things about me today because I talked with Carla and Carla bought some stuff out of me that applied to her situation. So guess what, y'all? It's 8:58. It is time to end the show. Carla, I hate that we gotta end. I do.
I know. I enjoyed it. Thank you for
I
having
enjoyed
me.
you. I enjoyed you as well. I'm trying to make sure we get all our announcements out of the way. We want to give a shout out to the Art Network. Oh my goodness, Art is the reason why we go live every week. Thank you, Art, for keeping us live out there in the world. We appreciate you. And Ali, happy birthday, baby. I got you this time. Happy birthday. And you all be safe. Happy Thanksgiving. I get a day off. Yay! Oh my goodness. Television is fun, but baby, I need a day off. And I get to do something in the kitchen. So, you all enjoy. Happy Thanksgiving. Look forward to y'all joining us back here in December, the first Wednesday in December. Until then, y'all be blessed. Happy Thanksgiving. See you in December. Bye bye.